So with 100 Thieves, you guys made the big change to bring in Abadage. This is a huge transfer, and I want to talk about your playoff performance because I've told this story before, but I talked to Papa Smithy and I said that I've never seen a team be winning 4 games but lose 3-1 in a best of 5. And so you guys were very close to being quite a good team last split. And I think people look at the loss and they didn't understand that if you upgraded mid lane, that you would be very competitive. What was it like to be part of that playoff series, and what was the change for Abadage in between splits? How did that happen, and what were you working on when he first came to 100 Thieves?
Sorry, the question was kind of long for me.
Wait there 1 second. Wait there 1 second. Right, when did you actually join 100 Thieves? Just answer that first.
I think this last December, I think.
Right, so you were there during spring split.
Yes.
And in this spring, in the playoffs, Monty didn't say the series, but when you played against TSM in the lower bracket, 100 Thieves against TSM, the joke was all the analysts watched this series, and in draft, you're winning all the time. In the game, the team's winning all the time, but you managed to lose 3-1. And this seems like Monty's joke is that he's never seen a team ever being like ahead that many times and then lose. But because of the loss, people thought, right, the team's just rubbish. They didn't know that if you change mid laner, maybe it's a really good team. So did you have any thoughts on that playoff series, what the problems in spring were?
I think we set on like bad direction. Like we had a lot of problems during the spring split, but instead of trying to fix the problem, we only did like band-aiding the problems instead of actually fixing it. So it just stacks up, and it finally like bloomed in the playoffs. I think
put it this way: if a Korean coach did those drafts and his team was ahead and you lose 3-1, the Korean coach won't be happy, right? Like there'll be punishment, like there'll be some harsh words, right?
Yeah.
I think though that after the playoffs and you suddenly someday has his green card, so you can import a player. Mm-hmm. Why did you like Abadage? What was it about his play that you wanted on the team?
There were some candidates, but Abe was clearly doing the most DPS and like in some tough situations, and he looked really stable during his landing page, and a lot of team fights. He knows what his role is, so yeah, I think it was kind of obvious choice.
You don't have to answer this, but we do have to ask it. Can you tell us any of the other candidates who weren't picked? Was there anyone sexy? Was there a big name that we might be enjoying if we were here? Just for fun.
I think there were some big names, but yeah, obviously contender.
Okay. Maybe in the future. Okay.
I'll tell you later, Thorin. I know. I think many of them, are pretty obvious. But Abadage,
I know some of them, but
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. But we have to ask. But yeah, I think with the state of Schalke, it made it a lot easier because now apparently they want to sell the team, so they needed the money, and also Abadage's contract was up at the end of the year, so they had an opportunity to sell him now, whereas he would have been a free agent later.
Made sense for everyone. It's one of the few times the deal just makes sense for everyone.
Yep, absolutely. So coming into this season, what was your practice with Abadage? Because he came quite quickly, so you had a lot of time to prepare. So how did you, as a coach, try to bring him into the team and create the new teamwork and system that you have?
It's not necessarily like we need extra work because of Abadage. Basically, we started with zero foundation because Reaper just came in as head coach. We just started from zero, and yeah. I think at the start we were kind of focusing on communication issues because in the spring split we were kind of band-aiding problems with like if someone is making mistake, like A player is making mistake, you would like focus on B player should communicate even more to prevent a player making mistakes. But that's not even a problem. A player shouldn't even be making mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
If people didn't get that, what he basically meant was if one player makes a mistake, instead of being able to fix his problem, they would just tell the other player, like give him even more communication, you know, say something extra before or afterwards so that it would make up for it. But obviously the problem with that is the first person didn't actually fix their issue and it'll still be present. Yeah. It's a big problem, obviously, because one of the issues here, right, is when a problem happens during the split, you're still trying to win the games that week. You don't have, 2 months to fix everything. So you kind of just have to try and win that next game, right?
yeah. So we are trying to cut the unnecessary communications. I think that was kind of big project for us.
Based on your practice with Abadage and now with Reapered, did you expect to do this well at the start of the summer split? Because right now you guys have won almost all of your games. You are 7-2. You are only one game outside of first place in LCS. Is this what you thought would happen, or did you think it would take more time?
I think we are gonna do well, but I think it's kind of a mix of the top teams are kind of having struggle with their internal problems. I don't know what it is exactly, but yes, internal problems, and the players are performing pretty well. So I think it's kind of a mix that makes us dominant.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on. By the way, do you still have a good relationship with Reginald and TSM? Do you still have a relationship with them?
I think I do, but I haven't talked to them.
Okay.
Yeah, since then.
Would you like to play them maybe in the final and beat TSM?
Huh? Sorry?
Would you like to play TSM in the final and beat them?
For sure, but I don't know if they can make it.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. I like it. Yes.
I like it.
Finally, come over to the dark side. Yes.
So you say that the teams are having some internal problems. So I will not ask you about the internal problems, but I will ask you a question about LCS versus Korean teams.
Mm-hmm.
In your experience culturally, do you think Korean teams would be benching these players that have been benched?
Such as
Alfari?
Yeah, big name. Dardox, Ven, these are players that on their team were considered, best player or, like all LCS level. In Korea, do you think you would be benched in these situations? What's your opinion?
I think it's kind of a hard question, actually. I think they should have known it like earlier. I think that's my guess.
Yes.
Yeah. If they had to bench it, I think they should have known it even sooner. It's so wrong, I think.
In your experience, having played in Korean teams and now being in LCS, what are some of the biggest cultural differences that you have found between esports in Korea and esports in North America?
I think one of the biggest difference is there's so little talents in NA, so players have a lot of hours, and yeah, they just know that they're not gonna get benched until this season. Yeah.
We were talking earlier about this comment Doublelift where he said basically that all top players in some sense are toxic, and he gave the example of Faker, right? Well, I was thinking when I knew you were coming on the show, right? A lot of Western people think that how people are in interviews and on camera and on stream, they think that's who they really are as players, right? So they were shocked to hear that, oh my God, Faker, but he's the best. He's the most polite guy. Well, I was thinking of a guy from your team called Ambition, who literally, there used to be a famous meme that he had carried a baseball bat to beat his teammates up if they didn't listen. Korean players in your day when you were a pro player, if you have a problem with someone, I'm pretty sure they're pretty brutal, right? They just say if they got a problem, or certain figures in the team, maybe the older figures, they can be pretty harsh.
Yeah.
There was so much in that year, though. That's the thing, Monty.
It's the facial expression is everything.
5 sentences from someone else. Yes. Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or be a pleb and don't.